The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program host and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by TCN TV Network Incorporated. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. The TCN TV Network claims no rights to the said content. TCN TV Network cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. TCN TV Network is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this program.
About you, but you Christ I can do all. Stand up tall with my left foot, post up on the wall. Easy to fall in the streets, life can get hard. Streets used to be a lot different from what man recall. Me a aim for my post like a soccer ball. Still run the road that don't need a map at all. Babylon them want to hold me with a strap at all. But man a liar, me no Cancer nor Capricorn.
Though they want to see me fall, I'm gonna be okay. Though my back's against the wall, I'm gonna be okay. They fighting me now, I'm gonna be okay. Jehovah eyes are watching me now, I'm gonna be okay.
Welcome to Hope in the Six. I'm your host, Eddie Martinez, and today we have special guests, Victor Ramirez, blessings, and Evelyn Lopez. And Eddie Martinez, raised by Latinos. Today is our topic of discussion. We're going to get really deeply into it, but before we do so, we got a video to play.
I have leather skin, the color of cinnamon, and I am of native descent. I remember my father always saying, we are honest, hard-working people. My mother used to say, I will love you no matter what you do. And what happens? And she used to always say to me, mijo, come here. Let me give you the bendición in case something happens, just to protect you. I am my mother's blessings. I am the music and salsa that comes out of the kitchen of my house. I am the sweet aroma and curves of my wife. I am a father, a brother, a son, a husband. I am an artist. I am Ramirez, and I am raised by Latinos.
Yes, so I am Ramirez, raised by Latinos. Let's talk about it. What is raised by Latinos?
When we first started out, I wanted to create some artwork. I just wanted to start drawing. We came up with the concept raised by Latinos because we thought that there was a void in not only Canada and Toronto, but in the world of Latinos. And
Sorry, just come a little close. I want to make sure everybody can hear you.
There was a void of Latino streetwear. And I said Ramirez because early on in my career, I'm a creative director and a designer. I had to use Victor Henry, Victor Henry to get into companies. And so I had to like kind of hide my name to get in. So now, after 20 years of designing and being in the industry, I'm proud to say Ramirez, and not fearful that I'll get some backlash from it. But it's evolved a lot since then.
Okay. So how, Evelyn, over to you now.
Oh, you're doing this.
Yes. So you come up with this idea, and you're like, listen, what was your input in regards? Was it like, hey, we should do this, or are we going to be challenging? What did you say towards this?
No, I backed him up. I was like, yeah, let's do this. There's challenges with anything and everything you do.
Right.
And it was just one of those things. We wanted to bring Latinos into the light. As he was saying, with his last name, he had to disregard it when he was going for interviews. So it was just one of those things that it was to, bring forward the typical stereotype of Latinos and what people see, and that's where it just really came from.
Okay, so RBL, raised by Latinos. You said so. You're the designer, you said, right?
Yes.
So you said, okay, let me get some clothes out there. Let me push it out. So talk to me about that. What was the challenges? What was the obstacles of?
So So the
branding?
thing is that like the funny thing is that there was a lot of obstacles in the sense of like people will wear Tommy Hilfiger,
Yes.
people will wear Calvin Klein, and they're prominently European or white or whatever you want to call them. But there's not a lot of Latino, like nobody wants to wear a Latino name for some reason. And I thought that was weird because you know, the Latino culture's been coming up with like Bad Bunny and Nicki Jam and all these up and coming artists, J-Lo,
Right.
let's not forget about, and Pitbull.
Right.
And then like they're all wearing Adidas, Nikes, and all these other brands, but there's no real presence in Latinos, and we're so many of us in the world. So you know, we wanted to come up with a concept that included all the Latinos and brought us into the light, which was basically, you know, we're not just partiers, we're doctors, we're lawyers. We
Right,
make
we're
a
everywhere.
substantial, we're hardworking people that live by a code.
And that's where the whole thing of the typical stereotype came from, but it's evolved into something much more than we had ever even imagined. So now we're, you know, showcasing the diversity of our bloodlines because Latinos have so many different bloodlines running through us.
Right.
And it's evolved into mentorship, mentoring our youth, you know, through compassion, through showing them compassion, giving them inspiration. We're now started giving back 5% of our profits to a program for moms and their babies in a Latin American
Right,
country.
right.
Passion Canada.
So yeah, it's evolved into something so much more, which is amazing to see in such a short period of time.
Right,
We're less than a year. We're not even a year old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like the mentorship program, it's not big right now. We have a few kids that reached out to us that, you know, like I'm a creative director, I'm a UX UI expert, and I'm really good on the computer. So every now and then I have one or two kids come over and we sit down and I show them how to edit videos. I show them not only how to, they're doing all this work, but they're not getting anywhere, and it's because they're not creating a brand.
Right.
And I think that a lot of times, not only the Latino culture, but every culture is not able to compete in today's market against Amazon, against all these stuff, is because they're not creating a brand. And so I explained to them was once you create a brand, it's yours and nobody can take that away, and you can create that movement and stuff like that. So I'm not only mentoring them in like hardcore lessons of like business, you know, but I'm also teaching them like you can't do this, you can't cross this line,
Right,
and this,
right.
and I'm more of the hard part. And then when I not scold them, but when I say, hey, if you're working in a professional environment,
Right.
you would be fired for doing this.
Definitely.
Because they don't have that.
Right.
I was fired for doing stuff early on in my career because I'm from Kill and Finch area, Gin and Finch area. So I was very rough around the edges.
Right.
So when I'd be working in some of these situations, I would react in a certain way, and I'd be get let go. So all the lessons that I've learned and pain, tears, and blood, sweat, and tears that I've had to do to become who I am, I try to give them that. And when sometimes I'm too hard, and then that's where Evie comes in, and she's more of like,
Nice it up.
she nice it up, and she's like, yeah.
That's beautiful, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted you guys on the show, because Hope in the Six is what people are doing in Toronto, you know, to help the community. So yes, Raised by Latinos is your brand, is who you are, you identify yourself. However, you're trying to help communities, and pretty much it's all inclusive, right? Marginalized youth,
Yes,
right?
yes, marginalized.
Right. So irony is that they're going to be raised by Latinos. You get it? You know what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
you're going to actually show people, you know what I'm saying, who are oppressed, whether black, white, or whoever that's marginalized, you know, predominantly black and natives, right? And the Spanish population that is here. But you're going to help all of them collectively come together and build them up, give them some skills. You actually referred somebody to me, you know, man, we worked it out for them.
Yeah,
so,
thank you very
so
much
no
for that.
problem,
That
man.
was a blessing
So
for
this
us.
is real. So I want everybody to know, and everybody have a part in this Hope in the
Yeah.
Six. It's about everybody. What are you
Absolutely.
doing? So
Yeah.
we want to highlight it. We want people to know, and this is powerful, you know. So I want to talk about though. Before we go to break, we have a short time. We'll get into more after break. But the Latino population in Toronto.
I do stats all the time. We're about 2.3 to 4% given in Ontario. There's a huge population in London. I think it's like 14% Colombian.
Okay.
There are pockets, you
But
know.
it's very scarce. It's not like in New York or Miami.
Right,
Like
right.
you hear it,
Yeah.
you see it everywhere, you feel it.
And
Right.
and the sad part is the fact that that's why we created Raised by Latinos, because right now we marginalize each other. Oh no, that person is Ecuadorian, no, he's Argentinian, he's Peruvian. And this is why we want to bring us all together. It's like,
Right.
we're already such a small percentage of the population,
Right.
but if we all come together, we can make a difference. We can help each
Right,
other
right.
out.
So the funny thing is, like, that's how it is for real. But working in the prison or jail industry in that setting, when different ethnic backgrounds in the Latino realm come to when in jail, they drop the gangs. You know what I'm saying?
They have
and
to.
become one. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
They have to,
so to become a solid unit, because
Exactly.
if you don't, then they'll be
And
outnumbered,
that's
right?
What, that's what
And,
we're
you know.
our main focus is to do that, is to
Right.
drop, like he was saying, Ecuadorian, Argentinian, like you don't forget that,
Right,
you know,
right.
but at the end of the day, we speak the same language,
That's right.
we have the same culture,
Same
Right.
humor.
the same humor, like our last names are all Spanish,
Right.
so we're Latinos.
And we don't have, and what we're trying to do is like, we don't have to go to jail to unite. Let's
Yeah,
unite
right,
before we
right,
do. And
right,
imagine
right,
if we
right.
do, how
Right.
powerful we could be for our communities.
Right. So with that said, we're gonna go to a break. Hope in the 6. Thank you for watching. Keep tuned in. Bless.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May your dreams all come true. Happy birthday to you.
We refuse to promote, report on anything negative in the community.
Ay, cómo se riega. Ay, cómo se riega. Ay, qué bonita. Ay, qué
Aquí está Armando Herrera en su emisora en la calle 1610 y estamos en una entrevista con el señor Moste del grupo Código Azul. Ahora Moste, aquí tenemos una controversia, un tópico muy delicado relacionado con lo que está pasando en los países centroamericanos con las maras. ¿Me podrías comentar un poco acerca de eso?
O sea, ¿cómo le pudiera decir? Yo se lo voy a explicar de una manera que yo sé hacerlo, pero eso sí que sí, yo lo que no quiero.
Welcome back to Hope in the 6. I'm your host, Eddie Martinez, and today we're talking about Raised by Latinos. We have Victor and Evelyn. Today we're going to get into it. So, as I said off camera, I wasn't raised by Latinos, but I was raised with Latinos. You know what I'm saying? You know, but my background is Latino, of course. My last name is Martinez. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by Jamaicans. You know, shout out to my Jamaican family. Bless up. But but I embraced I mean, throughout my whole all my schooling, Martinez. So it was like, what are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But and because I was at that moment, I wasn't knowledgeable of my historical background. It was just it did put me in a weird. I felt weird a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But as I got older, I mean, my name was always Martinez. I mean, it was, you know.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I more embraced it and yo, what's up? You know, what's up with his name? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. So then I found out on my dad's side, which is from Belize. You know, they're coming from actually Honduras on his
Nice.
father's side.
That's
You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? So I got a lot of that. You know, and then on my mother's side, my grandmother, she was raised in Jamaica, married a Jamaican man, but she was actually born in Cuba. You know, so I got on both sides I have Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And I embrace it. You know, I practice Spanish a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then. I'm not perfect, poquito. Yeah. Solo poquito. But No hablo mucho porque no mucho.
Practicas mucho.
Yeah, necesito practicar. Eh?
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah.
So if I, but now I got you guys.
Yeah, right here.
So ayúdame por favor, okay? You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the culture part. That's why I brought in that, just to get into the cultural part, right? So indigenous people, natives, what you got to say in regards? Because I know there is a disconnection and a misidentity. I'm gonna say something. When I was a while ago, I was reading a paper. It was saying this guy from Mexico came to U.S. Right, migrated, and he was in the country illegally. But they brought Spanish interpreters, and he didn't speak Spanish. And
Yeah.
he was from Mexico.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then it was like, what? Who is? He lived up in the hills, like
Of course,
away from
yeah.
society.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
before the colonization, they kept their own. You know what I'm saying? Because before the mergers of the Spaniards or the Spanish coming in, they had their own identity. So I want to speak to you about that a little bit because we had a nice conversation
Yeah.
that I need to, everybody
Well, it's a
to know.
beautiful thing, the indigenous. It's beautiful, but we also can't forget where Latinos came from and how we're here, and it is through the colonization.
Right.
91,
And it was. The way I look at it, it was a huge genocide, something terrible that happened to the people, to the indigenous. But that's where we come.
Right.
We're a product of that.
Right.
And rather than hating on it
Right.
and showing no love towards that, we're embracing it now, and that's what we're trying to just say, like, we're embracing it. It was a horrific thing that happened, but why be angry and hateful? We want to embrace it and bring love to it.
Right. Let me say this. Similar to in America, because a lot of black people, of course, have American names. The Johnson family,
Yeah.
the whatever families. That's who they are. So,
Exactly.
So yes, now although this happened a tragic event, but now this is who we are now. So then,
Exactly.
So I definitely appreciate Raised by Latino because
Yeah.
it's a movement. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And in the bio it says not just a clothes wear. It's a movement. It's very much empowering.
That's why one of our tagline is amor puro.
Yeah, so it's amor puro means
love.
pure love, and it's pretty much pure love for everyone.
Right.
Because again, it goes back to our bloodlines.
Right.
We have a tag. We say respect the diversity of our
Right,
bloodlines.
right.
Because we all have a little bit indigenous.
Right.
We all have a little black. We all have a little Spanish, obviously, because of our names.
Right.
But then from there, we have so much more. I have Italian, I have Moroccan in me. So there's a rich, beautiful diversity that lies within all of us.
Right, and this panel's diversity. Look at the colors.
Exactly.
It's diversity. You say you're cinnamon?
Yes.
I never heard that one before, but that's good.
No, well, that's the thing is like, like on my end, like
Yeah.
my great grandmother, she's Inca, so she used to speak Quichuan, and like when I used to go visit her in Ecuador when I was younger, she used to speak to me in that language. I didn't understand it, but to me it's just like my mom, even on my side, she hides that. She's like, no, we're not native, because back in the days they would be thrown in jail if they admitted to being native. So it goes back to that, and even now it's just like growing up in a tough neighborhood, to go back to the streetwear, like there was a hole there. It's like you could either be like, it was a mainly European area I grew up in, so you had to be extra tough because if something went down, it was like 20 people against 3. You know what I mean? So we, like you said, we would have the blacks, the Latinos join together, and that's who I grew up with. And to me, it's like Raised by Latinos is just more than that too, because if you have a Latino friend, they're not your friends, they're your family.
Right.
You can go knock on the door. And
Oh yeah. Shout out to Julio. I don't know where he is
There
right
you
now.
go.
But I want to shout out to Julio
'Cause you can go to his
because
mom's house.
definitely we this was Queens, man. They lived up. They lived next door to us, and once we met, the families just merged. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it was just
That's our whole.
that is
That's
a
kind
fact.
of like what
That
our
is a
house
fact.
looks like sometimes too. My house, people like one of the kids we mentor, he comes to our house. Sometimes he'll sleep over. My son's friends, I open the door to them. They know they have a second home. So that's kind of like what my house looks like, pretty much.
That's very deep, and it's good to that's why it got to be televised. People need to know about it, and you're not knocking other races or nothing like that, but
No,
you're just
absolutely
embracing
not.
yours. A
Embracing
lot of
it.
people feel offended when you embrace your race. You know, like when the movement said Black Lives Matter, some people was like, all lives matter.
Yes.
And missing the point.
Missing the point.
So it's not knocking any other race. It's just saying, listen, value our lives. So Raised by Latino doesn't say nothing. It doesn't discredit anything else. It's just saying I'm embracing my culture, which is very important, and it's gonna empower the next generation, because yes, people get lost into society and kind of forget where they come from.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people come from India and Asian countries, and their last name actually are changed. You know, even Somalian. I knew a girl. I know a girl, a Somalian young lady, and when I first met her, she was like, her name was Sarah. I'm like, that's not her name. I was like, what's your real name? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to call her out, you know, but she told me her real name, and I just call her real name. Like, identify who you are, embrace who you are.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? There was a FUBU movement. For us, by us.
Yeah.
So this reminds me of
wrote
that,
about that sort of stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you write in regard? What do you say?
Well, see, to me, it's like when that movement started in the 90s, I remember, because I remember looking to Los Angeles, because there was nothing culturally connecting me in Canada. So a lot of the Latinos here in the 90s started looking to New York, Miami, well, New York and Los Angeles more. So I grew up with a Raiders cap and just like trying to catch anything or everything that was Los Angeles. And it wasn't because I was envious of them, but what I was I had a void. And see, to me, it's like, I think that our children right now, Latinos children right now, especially in Canada, are growing with that void because they don't have anything to connect to.
Right.
They see all these mentors, like, you know, even the superheroes. Black Panther, yay! What do we have? We have like Latinos don't have, like, who do we have? Speedy Gonzalez. Like they minimize
us.
He
was dope though. Don't laugh.
He was dope, but he's small as.
Speedy. Everybody loves Speedy Gonzalez. No, man.
but you see what? You guys got Black Panther. We got Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, but we took a while for us to get Black Panther. Speedy go way back. You know what I'm saying?
And now we got Spider-Man, the new one, but he's mixed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
I hear you. I do understand.
But that Streetwear, to me, it was just like, my only connection was that. And say, to me, I think that I find a void. You know, I want to get in touch with my indigenous side.
Definitely.
I want to get in. And so what we want to try to do is create mentorship programs in the future so people can connect. And like, hey, you say you want to connect with your Latino side and you want your children to connect because that's part of who you guys are.
Knowledge, history.
Yes.
There's a lot of history. I can get into the whole
Get into
history
it,
of
baby.
it.
We got a commercial. We get back into it after. You know what I mean? You know, but definitely we'll be back after the short message. Stay tuned. Hoping the 6th.
With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. You know, the large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
the ad is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
I am half Ecuadorian and half Jamaican. You see right there, I'm not full Latino. I have black in me, but I was still raised by Latinos. My mother is Ecuadorian, so I know how it was to be raised in an Ecuadorian household. If you didn't eat all your food for dinner, then that would become your lunch, your dinner, and then breakfast. A whole cycle. I remember always eating estofado or being yelled malcriado by my grandmother. It was the little things, you know. You used to always hear Frankie Luis playing in the kitchen while my grandmother, aunt, and mother were all in the kitchen cooking, cleaning, doing whatever. My name is Noah Godfrey, and I was raised by Latinos.
Welcome back to Hope in the Six. I'm your host, Eddie Martinez, and today we're talking about being raised Latinos, right? Raised Latino, raised by Latino. We got Evelyn Lopez and Victor Ramirez, huh? Ramirez. Anyway, I like that. What's the young man's name in the video?
Noah.
Noah. So shout out to Noah because he said he's Ecuadorian and Jamaican.
Jamaican, Trini, and
Right.
Chinese.
Right. But he just left off with the immediate parent,
Yes.
right? So but he did talk about his meal thing. You know what I'm saying? So I could relate to that. And that's that he's speaking as a black and as a Latino.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The meals and the leftovers and all that stuff is the struggle. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have to struggle in life. I mean, not everybody have to struggle. You got rich people and people don't experience that. But I think the struggle brings you who you are. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of Latinos in New York especially, because that's where I'm originally from, Latinos and blacks, there's like one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Though they identify Latino when they say black, but they, like most times they're, you know, other than the beef in the jails in Rikers Island years ago, black communities and Spanish communities is one, because the thing about it is we identify with the same things.
The struggle.
With the struggle, the oppression, the racism. So that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel the movement, and I can see collaboratively how it could wrap around and just embrace everyone. Though it's specifically saying Latinos. I'm just saying this because I think no one should be offended. You know what I mean? Raised by Latino is a movement. Push it, project it. I actually see big things coming from this. I think a people gonna rise up. You know what I'm saying?
That's
out
the
of the
whole thing.
trenches.
Yes.
Because
Time to rise up.
as I said,
Yeah.
being in this city is fragmented when it comes to the Latino population. Everybody's just over there, and maybe they hiding as Henry or other names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it is nothing. But once you identify, just like when we start to see as black, seeing like black sitcoms and these things, you start to just glue to the TV and was just so empowered because then you start to see. You know, shout out to I Love Lucy though. Yeah, you know Ricky Ricardo. Yeah. So there was some empowerment of Latinos back in the days.
Controlled empowerment.
Right. Well, that's how it always been with TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to now take that. You can't just wait. That's why you rose up. You know what I'm saying? You can't just sit and wait for nobody to feed you or to give you that blessing. You have to now stand in your and I appreciate that. But talk to me now. You're all right. You made the clothes, right? You you got another shirt that says "Te Calle." Yeah, street, right?
De la calle.
Okay. Yeah, of the street, from the street.
So basically, de la calle means. So a lot of people say you're from the hood, you're this, you're that, and for us it was more of like, it's not from where you are, it's from how you think. So de la calle means you're street smart. So you can be wealthy or you can be brought up in an urban area and still not be street smart. So that's where we came up with de la calle, because we wanted to let people know that just because you're from the hood doesn't mean that you're street smart, and just because you're not,
That's right.
and so it's just the way you're raised. Because let's just say if you're working hard to get your kids out of a situation that you were raised in. I was raised in Gin and Finch, and I didn't want to raise my kids there, and so I struggled and I went to school being dyslexic, being told I was going to be a garbage man in my life. I had to, in college, I'm not going to be anybody. I'm going to fail, and to be where I am, it's just through just tears, blood,
sweat, and tears, blood, sweat, and tears,
and just. I'm dyslexic, Evelyn, she's awesome because I'll say something and she'll put it into a way that we can impact she'll impact the world. Right. And so to me, when we're growing up this way, I never thought that we would be here. Right. And now I just thought I was going to draw something and or just sell a couple of shirts. Now this movement is becoming something huge that we don't even know. We're getting a lot of love from Los Angeles.
Well, definitely.
New York, Chicago. And I just hope that the kids in Toronto and in Canada and in other places know that they should not feel shame for being Latino.
Right. To get back to the de la calle and what it is from like streetwise, like how he was saying, I grew up in a different type of neighborhood. I guess I was a little bit. Neighborhood. Yeah, but we were quick. Do you know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. Right. Both my parents taught us to be quick and smart and maneuver our ways where we had to and in certain situations, regardless of, I guess, my upbringing, which was, maybe a little bit more
affluent
than yours. But like I said, like we're street smart.
Right.
You
I
know?
normally say that it's not ghetto is a mentality.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right? Yes. So it's not
Yes.
where you from, because I know some people, you know, that are from ghetto neighborhoods and they're like intelligent. And
Exactly.
They don't, I know a young man that's from the ghetto, and when I used to go visit him, he's playing classical music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, you crazy, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with this music? And I'm like,
Yeah.
and he came out excellent and smart
Yeah.
dude. You know what I'm saying? Then you have some people that are not even from the ghetto and they just ratchet and they just
Right?
ghetto. The ghetto, that's a
Yes.
mentality.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So don't.
Poverty is a mentality, and this is where we're trying to. What I was trying to say is, it's like, so for me, my biggest accomplishment at the age of 11 was to own a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, sweater. It took me almost a year to save up to own one.
Right.
So to me now, to think of like, why did I want a Tommy Hilfiger shirt? Because there was no Latino presence.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what everybody, before the Sean Johns and the FUBUs, that's what everybody cleaved to. You know what I'm saying? And they still, because people saying Gucci, and making songs about like selling. You know what I'm saying? So that right there was something's wrong with that picture. You know, I'm like, Gucci belt, Gucci. Like, what? Gucci don't care about you. Gucci don't like you. Gucci actually put out a racist design clothes that is now offensive because it's mocking the old cartoon and arts of back in the days when they mocked black people on TV. So you talking about Gucci, that's ghetto.
Tommy Hilfiger.
You see that?
There you go.
That's
Thank
ghetto.
you.
That's a
Yes.
ghetto, uninformed. You know what I'm saying? If I'm from a poverty neighborhood, don't mean I'm ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Exactly.
Because I'm from a certain neighborhood. When I was out here, I was Jane and Streetwear, and I'm cleaning up cleaning the park. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, this is our park. We live here. You know what I'm saying? Cleaning up I'm painting the outside of my building because it was kind of messed up. My neighbors, my landlord was like, who is this guy? Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta embrace, you know what I'm saying? That's where, if I'm here, I'm gonna make it nice. And I'm not ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I used to be ghetto. I was uninformed. But I grew out of that, even if I'm still there. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in a different place. But it's a mentality. You know what I'm saying? So raised by Latino, you know what I'm saying, is power. I need some wear. I need some shirts. I need some hats. You know, I mean, we gotta, you gotta hook a brother up. You know what I'm saying?
No, we brought some stuff.
We brought you some stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna get into that then.
Yeah.
So there's challenges. There got to be challenges. You know, facing specifically this or awareness. What are, like for far as people embracing it? Like what are your challenges as far as people saying, "Yo, I'm Latino, I want to be a part of it"? Do you have that? Or
We're getting a lot of love. Yeah,
Oh, you
we
get-
really are.
Okay, cool.
A lot of people coming up saying, "Yeah, we're Latino, and how can we be part of this?"
Beautiful.
Like we get like constantly messages, and we are getting a lot of love. We countered some, I guess some not backlash, but because of the word Latino,
Bumps in the road.
But it is what it is. I was told to, just decolonize, and it's like, what do you mean?
Right.
Are you telling me to forget my name? My language?
Right.
I'm not going to.
See, so that's, but I do understand perspective, but they got to understand perspective as well.
That's exactly what I'm
saying. Because all right,
yes.
we have people from the Caribbean are called West Indian.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like so Jamaicans are West Indian.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? But they're not West Indian. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So what do you do now? Like fight and find a new name, or just say and just embrace what it is now. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that's what it is. Even the terminology black, the terminology Negro. People fought for that, and people opposed it. So it's not. So then, am I Negro or am I not Negro, or am I black? I'm not. Nobody's black in color. You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't exist.
Black pigment,
and that's where it comes to like also with us, we'll use negro as a form of endearment. My son, the one that was on the video, I call him mi negro, but it's a form of endearment. So again, it's like these words. Sometimes it's like make them beautiful, make them mean something.
Right.
Because Latinos use nicknames for everybody.
Right. There was some debate. I don't know if it was here, but in America, Hispanic, Latino, because that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think the Negro and the black. There was some terminology. I'm not Latino. I'm Hispanic. And I'm like, and I was like, okay, I need some type of.
It's actually all in the American census forms. Is the Latino. And then the Hispanic. So some will
I think I know what it is. I think Latino was probably going towards Spain, or was it?
No. So Latino would be more from Latin American countries, whereas Spaniard is from Spain. So when you actually say to someone, even like if they say, "Oh, you're Spanish," no, I'm not. I speak Spanish, but I'm not Spanish.
I'm Latin American.
Right?
Okay.
Because Spanish is the Spaniards.
Right.
So there's a whole different like it's just crazy.
It's,
The history
it's so
is
much
just
to debate
insane.
about, but let's simplify it and move forward. That's pretty much.
To me, if you go back, it goes back to like the Willie Lynch letter.
Mm.
You know, if you know, it's like how to create a slave.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, they knew how to control our people,
Mm-hmm.
Black Latinos, that they took from all these different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And what they knew is like, you know, like separating us by color, by hair,
Mm-hmm.
by all of this. And this is still happening now.
Right.
That's why we're being marginalized, even in those papers. When they ask, like, are you Dominican? Are you Puerto Rican? Are you Hispanic? Are you Latino? They're separating.
I'm gonna give you a joke. It's funny after the fact, but it wasn't funny in the. You know what I'm saying? It's never funny in the moment. But back in the days, like in the South, like when I was working in corrections, there was a forum.
Mm-hmm.
So we have now, because a lot of people migrate from Los Angeles to like North Carolina because, you know, there was job opportunities and stuff like that. So a lot of the culture came from Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard they had even a poster up like their jobs in North Carolina. I seen a video actually, and so people came, and now a fluctuation of Spanish people, Hispanic, Latino people, right, coming in. But on the identification, there was black, white. You know what I'm saying? Asian. So there was no no Latino or no Hispanic. So when I was like, what are what are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to sign one. I said, they say I'm like Hispanic, and I'm like, there's nothing, so you have to pick, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, you white, just check white. No, I know white, I know white.
Exactly.
I said, all right, then black. No, I know black, I know black.
It's
So they like, all right, white. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're white, I'm sorry.
They chose the white, you know what I'm saying? So that was hilarious to me, but at the time it was just like, dang, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is what it is. But we got to go to a break. We'll be back and have this wonderful conversation raised by Latinos. Open the 6th, stay tuned.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
Hello everyone, my name is Jermaine Chambers, and I'm very excited to tell you about the newest political and current affairs program coming here to Brampton. It's called On Point.
The first step of true reconciliation is learning more about one another.
Join us on Tuesdays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. as we discuss all the issues.
I will never forget the trust you put in me.
Municipal, provincial, federal, and any issue of national importance, we will talk about on Point. So do join us.
Welcome back to Hope in the 6th. I'm your host, Eddie Martinez, and today we have Victor Ramirez and Evelyn Lopez, raised by Latinos. It's not just a clothes brand, but it's a movement. Powerful. At this moment, we're going to get into a portion of our show where we call Cell Count, where it's for prisoners, ex-prisoners, and their families, and also I read it, so then it's for the audience as well, is empowerment, because the show is about people that are incarcerated and reducing recidivism and going back into society, you know, to people and organizations such as you that can help give people skills and stuff like that. So right now we read, every now and then I'll probably be in, I'll read letters from the jails or prison, or I'll read from this article. So particularly we just came from Prisoners Justice Day was last week. So I want to talk about it a little bit. So it says, what does Prisoners Justice Day mean to me? By Philippi Poisson. To me, PJD is very important. I do not eat on PJD or work, do programming, do schooling, watch TV, exercise, play games, etc., etc. To do anything but relax, pray, meditate, read, or write a letter is the equivalent of going to the bathroom or someone's grave. Prisoners' Justice Day started around 1973 to commemorate and honor all those inmates who passed away fighting for our rights. PJD was started by inmates in Millhaven Institution. Over the years, PJD has grown to encompass all of those inmates who have passed away in prison, whether their death be by hands of a guard, another inmate, or by their own hand. If they passed away while inside, then they are mourned under the date of August 10th. I am serving my second federal sentence, and if I was to compare the number of inmates that I've come across in my last federal sentence against the number so far this time, the number has more than doubled as to how many inmates have not heard of PJD, let alone how many know anything about it. Now I commemorate and honor PJD every year on August 10th by following the general idea of meditating, fasting, and praying for a personal reason. My best friend Jack Froese Jr. committed suicide in 2013 in provincial custody in British Columbia. Jack suffered from depression, among other things, and was denied his medication. There are still a lot of things we need to work on in order to make prisons all across Canada a safe place for us, inmates, and guards alike. However, by honoring PJD on August 10, we once again bring awareness to our ongoing struggles for our rights, for our justice, for those who fight no more. We fight for them. That's a blessing. So Prisoners' Justice Day, it just passed, but I still want to honor it on the show, So it's good to empower those, and we're all inclusive, So shout out to all the indigenous people that struggle, that be going through oppression, that's what it is. But back to I see some hats, and I see a hat, and I see a shirt. Para mí, es para mí. Gracias. Yes. Hey, I love it. Thank you. De la calle, raised by Latinos. Like I said, I was raised with Latinos. But I know. I don't want to start no beef.
I don't know. New York,
go ahead.
Julio's mom's gonna be pulling.
I know. Julio's
gonna
say, "¿Qué pasó? What's up, man?"
With
oh yeah, the Julio mom. Yeah, that's right. She did have a low play in my life a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, then I could wear it with pride. You know what I'm saying? Let me see how this look.
Yes.
Selena.
It looks nice.
How it look?
It looks good.
Nah. So yeah, I want to bring this look. Look at this. Raised by Latinos is a movement, and we're supportive for everyone. So shout out to every Latino in Toronto, in Canada, Latin pride, and all over the world. Telemundo, no? All over the world, the universe. Raised by Latinos. Yeah. I'm gonna rock this for sure. Actually, I'm gonna take some nice photos. I want to pose in your thing, right? Can I pose?
Yeah. We'll come with a photographer and we'll take the pictures. And
Let's get it,
yes,
man.
I want a story.
Yes, we need a story. Mm-hmm. Stories are important.
This is very good.
We have the I Am RBL, which is I Am Raised by Latinos, and every month we feature an individual, and they get to tell their story of what it is to be a Latino and how they connect and embrace that side, whether they are mixed with Jamaican or Irish, and they get to speak about their mixed bloodline. Right. So I'd definitely love to have you on there.
Okay, that's good. When I used to speak to Spanish people, like sometimes I would pry into a conversation and just say something random just to get a response, and they're like, oh, "Where you from?" And I'm like, like I told my background, and they say, "Oh, great," and I always say, "Mezcla en mi sangre," like my blood. I got a mixture. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a person that love culture. I love roots. I love culture. So I embrace all parts. I'm yet to go to Cuba, but I am gonna go.
Yes.
It's very cheap in Canada to go. So I'm definitely gonna go to Cuba and Honduras as well. But we're coming down, so I want to wrap up. But I want to and give you a final thought from you, like what you want to say to society, what you want to say in regards to your movement, like in addition to buy the product, support Raised by Latinos. What do you want to say?
I just want to say we're here. We're here, and it's our time to shine and our time to rise.
Right. So we're here. It's our time to shine. It's our time to rise.
Yeah.
That's powerful. And I do think a lot of people are going to come out the woodworks.
Oh,
you know
I
what
hope
I'm saying?
so.
You know, so
Yeah, and we're not just for Latinos. We're a movement. Like
I know.
said,
Yes,
for open-minded,
definitely.
conscious-minded people.
Definitely.
We've been blessed. We're at Brims now, so you guys can go get our gear at Brims.
Oh, that's what's up.
We were at a pop-up at Eaton Center, and the fascinating thing when we were at the pop-up, there was a whole bunch of people from different heritages just coming out. You know, every kind of culture wanting to wear our gear, and they understood the fact that Raised by Latinos wasn't only meaning that you were raised by a Latin mom or a father, but a lot of people that had friends connected with me, like, hey, I have a friend, and they accepted me, adopted me into their family, so they were like wanting to support the gear too. So that's amazing.
Yeah, it is incredible. My son's aunt, she's Jamaican Trini, and she's like, I need to rock this gear.
Right.
I need it.
It's a movement. I think united we stand, right? United we stand.
Of course,
So
definitely,
let's push it.
100%.
I definitely the product look amazing. You have amazing models as well, and it look good. You know what I'm saying? So I think definitely you're doing positive things, and you should move forward. We should push it. Actually, I'm gonna try to get some of my Hope 6 shirt Jack hats in the stores as well.
Nice.
So you're gonna give me some knowledge towards
going
about that. But that's dope that is in the stores though.
Yeah.
So
shout out to LA.
Los Angeles.
Third shout out to Third. He reached out to us, and he's been a blessing.
He's amazing.
He's
Incredible.
amazing, talented man.
What does he do?
He's a hip hop artist,
Okay.
and he's just something phenomenal. He can switch. He goes from Spanish and he switches right into English so smoothly.
Right.
And he knows the struggle, and
it's
he's
ridiculous.
really connected with all the culture. You know, black love, brown pride. It's a struggle, and he's helped us get into the market of LA, and there's a lot of people from Los Angeles. Shout out to Los Angeles, giving us a lot of love.
Yeah.
Getting into New York now, and
Nueva York.
That's where you come in.
That's where you come
now
in,
you
brother.
gotta help us
Now
get
you
into
gotta
New
help
York.
us break into New York, the Bronx, baby.
Let's do it. The South Bronx got a strong couple.
I'm
Right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're gonna hold you to it.
No,
We're gonna hold
definitely.
on with your
Everybody come on the show. No, I'm a man
Julio,
of
we're
my
coming
words.
to your house. I'm gonna have that rice and beans ready.
You ever heard that song, Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard? That's true. That's facts, actually. Me and Julio was down by the schoolyard. But it's so fun to have you guys. Just to close off, I want you to talk about your social media handles for those who are not aware of it. So, social media, how do we find RBL, Raised by Latinos?
Instagram at Raised by Latinos, Facebook Raised by Latinos, YouTube Raised by Latinos,
Okay.
and our
Tumblr,
website
Reddit.
RaisedByLatinos.com.
Yes. Kids don't go to websites no more.
You cannot say
Right.
you can't find us.
Yes.
Right.
Raised by Latinos. I am
RBL. I am Raised by Latinos.
We got new gear coming out.
Yes.
The Tupac.
Yes, there's
Oh,
a lot
yeah,
coming.
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
coming
yeah.
for the fall, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Keep watching. Thank you for supporting us. Keep supporting positivity. Let it go viral. Raised by Latino. Black Pride, Latin, Brown Love. How you say it?
Black Love, Brown Pride.
Black Love, Brown Pride. Hope in the 6. Thank you for watching. We got Victor.
Thank you.
And Evelyn. Blessings.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I'm gonna be okay. I will fear no evil, that will my rod and my staff. I'm gonna be okay. Thou preparest a table before me in front of my enemies. I'm gonna be okay. Thou anointed my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. All on my shoulder, I'm a soldier, thought I told you. But with Jehovah, so nobody can test. Every day of my life, I'm blessed. Yes.